Right, so wrestling interviews, an art form that has existed forever, from the old shoot interview to regular media appearances to appearing on podcasts or on wrestling interview YouTube channels like Chris Van Vliet or Muscle Man Malcolm. Wrestling interviews have always been a big medium in the wrestling content world and a great way for wrestlers to get attention for themselves for both the right and wrong reasons. And there have been many a wrestling interview that have gone completely wrong and ended in disaster, whether they pissed off the person they were interviewing, or there was a big beef that ensued, or someone got drunk, or the old case of a wrestler attacking a reporter who called it fake. Things like that happen all the time, and today I'm here to give a few examples of wrestling and wrestler interviews that ended in total disaster. So like the video and subscribe, as the first one to discuss it is actually quite a known wrestling interview, as it took place on the Stone Cold podcast during the time period that it was airing on the WWE Network, as on the 8th of August 2016, live on the WWE Network, Dean Ambrose, the WWE Champion at the time, was a guest on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. And this interview is one that has gone down in infamy, as at the start of this interview things seem to be going pretty well. They're talking wrestling, Jon Moxley is a very nonchalant guy, the interview is going fine, he's relaxed, it's all good. However, there was only one topic that Mox didn't want to discuss on this podcast, and that was personal deep questions about his early life. And I'm sure you can probably guess what obviously happens, as the deep and personal questions from Steve Austin would then come filing in, as Moxley's demeanor would completely change. Moxley was very clearly unhappy and seemed uncomfortable and like he didn't want to be there and go into detail, but he kept on getting pressed, and this interview ended in total disaster and was an awkward mess. And Moxley would speak on the incident years later on the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling podcast in June of 2019. He says he felt blindsided by a WWE producer whom he told he didn't want to discuss his early life, but of course it still happened anyway.
There was one other thing that jumped out that was a real talking point with you, and that was that Steve Austin podcast on WWE Network. Can you speak to what didn't quite click there? Was there some, like, I talked to Steve about it on his podcast even. He was trying to figure out, what just didn't seem to go right. It seemed to be a struggle. Were you in a certain place at that point, or was it a last-second thing? What's the story behind that?
Well, yeah, it was weird. I don't remember it being a very good interview.
Right.
It was because it's an odd thing too. Just like I was really looking forward to it. I went there on my day off.
Yeah.
To do this. I was like, cool. We're gonna talk wrestling.
Yeah.
And I remember the producer guy, Adam Panucci. I remember he called me a week before to prep. And he was trying to ask me these super personal, deep questions about my fucking childhood and shit. And I was like, it's kind of none of your business, man. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to go on. If I'm going to say some shit about people who don't have the same forum, that aren't there to defend themselves, people from my family and so my family's good. I don't want to drag up my shit on fucking national TV. It's not fair to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not into that, So, but within 5 seconds, I'm getting these fucking questions. I don't remember what they were. And he said something that pissed me off, and I just fucking mentally shut down. Because I think what he want, and I fucking love Steve.
Yeah.
I like him so. That's why, if that had been a regular interview, it would have been, I'd have hung up on him.
And Steve Austin would also speak about it years later in 2019 as well, in an episode of his own podcast once again, this time interviewing Tony Khan before AEW formed, and he spoke candidly about that interview with Jon Moxley and how he has felt guilty since it happened. Just an overall awkward mess, and it bridges me right into my next entry on this list perfectly, as another overall awkward mess was the time that Chris Kanyon went on the Howard Stern show and was confronted by Ric Flair. So it all started when Chris Kanyon went on the show in October of 2006, and he spoke about his firing from the WWE, and he claims that he believes he was fired from the WWE due to opening up about his sexuality and due to the fact that he was a gay wrestler. And apparently this interview actually upset many people within the WWE, WWE, according to Howard Stern himself, and a few days later they would have John Cena on the show to ask him about it, and John Cena was more or less waving the WWE flag and says that he wasn't any good, and that's the real reason why Chris Kanyon got cut, because he wasn't able to entertain the fans or wrestle as good as he could have, and also refutes his claim about his firing because he says he came out publicly after he was released from WWE. But if you know anything about Chris Kanyon, yes, he was publicly out after his release from WWE, but it was always an open secret backstage everywhere he worked. And Chris Kanyon went on the Howard Stern show a few days later once again, as this time Howard Stern had Ric Flair waiting on the phone for him, as Ric Flair was there to represent WWE and defend Chris Kanyon's claims that he made against WWE, and it led to a very interesting discussion because these two have known each other for so long, but Ric Flair disagrees with what Chris Kanyon is saying, and Chris Kanyon obviously isn't gonna agree with Flair, but at the same time has a lot of respect for Flair and thinks he's the greatest wrestler of all time, so it leads to quite a strange and uncomfortable conversation in hindsight.
All right, before we get to the party, Chris, you know, the guys from the WWE were in an uproar after your last appearance here. Did you know that?
No.
Ric Flair is on the phone. He wants to debate you.
Ric Flair is on the phone?
He says that he has a statement to make on behalf of the WWE. You accused the WWE and Vince McMahon of firing you because you were gay. Rick disagrees with that.
Okay.
You want to speak to him?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. Rick, hi. Rick, you there?
I'm right here, man.
How you doing, man?
That's Rick.
Great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, that is Ric Flair. He's a famous wrestler, and you work for the WWE, of course, and you're even in management. And what do you disagree with about what Chris Kanyon has said?
Well, first of all, I don't work in management. I just disagree with the fact that, and I'm disappointed because I know Chris very well, that he would blame something that's happened in his personal life on his job description. And I think it's real simple. Every wrestler in the country knows that you've got to be very good at what you do to be part of the WWE. It's a very difficult business to be successful in. And I think Chris has some shortcomings in the ring. And I'm disappointed in Chris as a person. I've known him a long time, that he would blame his shortcomings on something that's going on in his personal life.
Well, we had in the wrestler, who's the guy who just made the movie?
John Cena.
We just had John Cena, and he said that Chris was a good guy. He said, but he didn't have the skills to really be a WWE wrestler.
Well, he said he didn't have a great act. You know, he didn't act the part well.
Yeah, Chris has got the skill, but it takes a lot more than technical skills to be good in the WWE or in the sport of professional wrestling. And Chris, I think, has got all the attributes. He doesn't have the act. John made a good point.
What about that, Chris? You were in the WWE, and your act was, you say, good until you became an out gay person.
My act was absolutely fine. You know, it all depends on what they give you, what storylines they write you. I think a lot of the writers knew. Rick, you know Arn Anderson knew for a fact I was gay back in WCW. I mean, he's your best friend.
I had no idea.
All right. It was not a well-kept secret in wrestling. And, you know, it figured into the storylines they gave me. Rick, you know as well as I do, if they don't give you a storyline, if they beat you every week, you're not going to be over.
Chris, we're talking about your sexuality right now. We're not talking about...
No, that ain't what you were talking about. You were talking about I didn't have what it took to be a WWE, even though...
You as a person, as a man, for blaming your choices in life on the business.
It's not a choice, first of all.
You have the skills, and you had the ability, and you had the opportunity. It didn't work out for you. That's got nothing to do with what you got going on in your personal life.
Totally disagree, Rick.
You'd be the only one, and you're lucky to be on the show and being able to air it.
But Rick, Chris was in the WWE for years, and there wasn't an issue.
He was in the WWE, but he was never featured. He was never a featured player.
Rick, how did I make it for 9 years on national TV in WCW, pretty much a promotion you made and carried by yourself? How was I able to make it there for 6 years if I didn't have the act?
I said you had. No, I said you had.
No, but how do you make it for 9 years on national TV from '95 to 2003? I was on national TV. If I didn't have the charisma, if I didn't have the act, how did I make it for 9 years? Explain that, Rick.
Well, I'm not saying you didn't make it. I'm just saying that I don't think anything that's happened to you right now, you know, in the WWE has anything to do with the fact that you've come out of the closet or whatever you've done. Because I had no idea. And nor did I care.
Rick, you've been in the business a long time. You know there's no kept secrets in wrestling. You know
it was me, and I know just about everything there is about professional wrestling. I'd never known that.
Well, you know, we got to take everything Rick says with a grain of salt. He still works for Vince McMahon. He's going to, just like John Cena, he's going to say what he thinks Vince wants to hear.
I got a question for Rick. Rick,
I don't think that's quite true, Chris. Go ahead.
Rick, why did they let Chris go then? Why did he get rid of him?
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that
So if you don't know the answer, then it could have been because I was gay and Vince doesn't like gay people.
No.
Oh, it couldn't have been that.
Definitely not that.
Could have been that.
But how do you know that, Rick? How do you know that wasn't it?
Because I know that there are gay people involved in the business right now that are successful.
But are they out?
No.
I don't know if they are or not.
No, they're not.
I see. Well,
I thought
listen.
there were no secrets in wrestling.
No, inside wrestling, he's saying. Outside of it, there are plenty of secrets.
Rick, we know a lot of guys inside the business that are gay, but they don't want to go national and be nationally out. I did, and I was punished for wanting to do it.
Well, I disagree. You got your opinion, I have mine, but it's hard to explain the business. I'm one of these very few, very fortunate guys that's been able to make the transition from year to year. I don't know how. It's been a gift that God gave me, but I know that I got to show up every Monday and I got to have my act together and I got to have my gig together and I got to be ready to go. And I think Chris, and I've said it before, all the talent in the world. But Chris, you didn't have anything to give to the show right now, and that's just the bottom line.
All right, so that.
So you think he could work for the WWE again?
No, I don't think he could.
Why not?
I think the opportunity for Chris Kanyon has come and gone.
So what opportunity was I given that I dropped the ball with, Rick?
I don't know, because I didn't know
None.
your act.
That's why for 9 years I was very successful. The only time I got fired is when I started talking openly.
We can go back and talk about who was good at everything 9 years ago. You're not good at it now.
Oh, now you're saying I don't have the skill now. You just said I have all the talent in the world.
You're saying
I am saying this is Ric Flair telling you have not got the skills or the ability.
That's very different than what you said in the beginning of this interview. That's very different than what you said in the beginning of the interview.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I said
you said I have all the skill in the world. I just didn't have the act. Now all of a sudden you say I'm not good enough. You know the act is given to you.
John Cena said, yeah, you are not good enough right now to be on the show.
Okay.
All right, well, there it is.
Rick,
that's the bottom line.
Rick, why are you doing this and not Vince McMahon?
Why am I doing what?
Why are you the one on the phone and not Vince?
I don't know.
I can answer that.
I guess they wanted someone that has a lot of respect.
I can. They're all in Japan.
They know how much respect you have for me, Chris.
Dude, I have ultimate respect for you. You are truly the best in the business.
If I can be man enough to tell you, Chris, God bless you. You had it at one time. You've got a lot of ability. I'm not saying you still can't go through the motions. You don't have something that the show needs right now. And it's a hard business. We let guys go every day that are nice people. It's not about being nice. It's about being good.
And I definitely am good enough. And Rick, you haven't seen me in 4 years. How do you know if I'm good or not?
I know that if you had something to offer the show, you'd be on it.
Really?
Bottom line.
That's why Kurt Angle's still wrestling for WWE.
What's Kurt Angle got to do with it?
Because he has a lot to offer, and he still got fired.
Well, no.
So don't tell me if you have enough to offer, you're still going to be there.
Kurt Angle left of his own volition.
Well.
And I know that for a fact.
And you want to talk about John Cena? This is today's Daily News. In a review of the Marine, Cena is nothing special. I mean, this ain't just me talking. Cena doesn't have much to offer either. Cena's pretty charismatic, but when it comes to in-ring work, Rick, you know as well as I do, in-ring work, Cena doesn't measure up.
I think they chose me is because they know the relationship. They know that I respect you as a person because you've always given me the courtesy and respect that I feel like I've been afforded.
Well, there it is. You guys have had your words with each other. I'm glad.
I just want to get this straight. Rick was picked by the WWE to talk to us?
Yes.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
I've always wanted to get
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on, Rick.
I'm mad at Howard Stern for not having me on a show for my book tour.
Rick, we got to be straight. Hold on a second. WWE called me. I called when Chris was here. I called Vince. Vince wasn't available. He's in Japan. They offered me Triple H. Turned out that today Triple H is in Japan on this tour. So then WWE called me back and said, "How about Ric Flair?" And I asked them, can Rick speak to this? And they said he could. So in a way, they did pick you to speak for them.
Well, that might be, but I've always wanted to be on Howard's show. He's never had me on.
I'm glad to have Rick on, and I think Rick has made his point.
Well, but Rick says he doesn't even know why Chris was fired.
It would seem to me that this would be a better conversation between Vince McMahon.
I think so, too. Anytime Vince wants to talk. Rick, and I have ultimate respect for you. I was there the final night of Nitro, and we hung, and we both cried. Rick, I have total respect for you. I agree. That you're entitled to your opinion, and that's cool. Who's laughing?
Are you attracted to Ric Flair at all?
No, Rick's not really my type.
Rick, you cried?
Howard.
Rick,
got something to tell us or what?
Did you cry? Is that true?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why the Hulkster, not the Nate?
Ooh. He wants to know why you had Hulk on here and not Nature Boy Ric Flair.
On the show all the time.
You want to know something, Rick? And I'll be honest with you. What I know about wrestling would fit into a thimble. My grandfather was a huge wrestling fan, used to take me to all the wrestling matches and stuff, and that was my exposure to it. But I would, you know what it is? I knew of Hulk Hogan, so I had Hulk on.
Yeah.
Rick,
And I don't
Now
know
you
that many.
of me.
So we'll have you on.
Rick,
Now you know of me.
Well, we'll have you on.
Please.
Rick, you say I'm not that good. Didn't you ask me to train your son, David? Now, be honest, Rick.
I never asked you to
That's
train.
such a lie, dude.
I asked you to work out with them. It's two different things, Chris. We're not saying you don't have the technical skills.
You just did say I can't measure up. I can't do it in the ring.
WWE does not let talent, Talent, go because of their sexuality. If you have something that can
I guess you know Vince's
for our
mind.
company, you're going to work for him.
I guess you could read Vince's mind.
No, I'm just telling you the truth.
No, you're telling me your opinion. And I totally appreciate your opinion.
have
You know,
something to offer
literally,
something
you're
that
my
would
favorite
generate
wrestler in the
income,
world.
You're going to work for
Rick,
him.
you're saying if you came out tomorrow out of the closet and you were openly gay, that Vince would keep you on?
Of course he would.
All right. Well, that's the
I'd have
answer
a
then.
brand
For
new
him,
gig
for
next
him.
Monday.
Definitely, that's his opinion. And
Right.
Rick is the greatest wrestler of all time.
He is.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
All right, there you go.
Howard.
That's very nice of you to say, even though
it's
you're
true.
being sort of criticized here.
I want to commend these guys on the most civilized wrestling argument of all time.
Thank you.
Nothing like the show.
Hey, you guys are all gentlemen. I'll tell you that.
Rick's a true gentleman.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
I believe.
And you're a great guy, and you shouldn't use the Howard Stern Show to vent and bring your personal life forward.
Unlike you, Rick, they called me.
I believe, Rick, because don't you think wrestling's kind of gay anyway?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Guys
about
in their underwear rolling around.
I don't know. Thank you, Ralph.
If anybody knows gay, it's Ralphie.
All right. Hey, Rick, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, and we hope to have you on the show soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. There he is. There's Ric Flair, who made a
The
statement.
Nature Boy.
And
yeah, for Howard Stern Show standards, that's a pretty civilized and normal conversation. But obviously, in hindsight, with everything that happens with Chris Kanyon afterwards in his life and his suicide that takes place years later, I find this to be quite an eerie and kind of weird conversation to look back on. And it's kind of sad to see how a lot of people didn't really have Chris Kanyon's back when he was out of the WWE. And this isn't the first or last time that Ric Flair would cause controversy in a public appearance, as look no further than the WWE 2K14 SummerSlam panel event. So some of you might know this story already, but during SummerSlam weekend, I believe it was, they were promoting WWE 2K14, the upcoming 2K game, obviously, for the time. And this would have been 2013, not 2014, sorry, because it would have been the previous year. But they hosted like this panel promoting the game and promoting 30 years of WrestleMania. It's being hosted by Jim Ross. You've got Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Paul Heyman, Mick Foley, and of course, Ric Flair, who turned up to this event super drunk. He had been on the drinks, been on the bevs, and this was a pretty bad time for Ric Flair emotionally at that time because his son had just passed away, and it was probably way too soon for him to be making a public appearance. But yeah, he shows up to this drunk and ends up being the show stealer. He's the life of the party here, and the crowd are just absolutely loving Ric Flair and his drunk stories and his drunk antics during this show. Everything about this panel is so boring other than what Ric Flair is doing, and the crowd are just loving it.
I think they thought Andre the Giant was hosting this tonight. I'm a little shorter and fatter. And this is Snapple.
Wow,
Dolph is not wearing any underwear. I don't know how I got that, but I think it was on Twitter.
I told you that in confidence, JR.
Sorry. I'm old. A little sidebar here. Ray let me borrow his mask last night. My wife was frightened.
Did you use it in the proper way?
I did. But we had that full-length mirror in our room, and it was scary. Hell, it scared me, Ray. I'm telling you. And I've seen it all. Our next guest, who in the hell would say this? Our next guest needs no introduction. Would I ever say that in my... Okay, but I'll be damned if I won't give it to him anyway. Hey, take my wife, please. I've lost complete control of my job. I'm sure I will never be asked back, and this has probably destroyed what career I had left.
And by the way, I introduced Jim Ross to his wife. We go way back. Charleston, West Virginia. We were so drunk, we were all... we got on the airplane.
There's a gentleman here didn't get to talk about what WrestleMania meant to him.
You saved me for last. No. I'm the showstopper.
Mick, it's called Hot Tag.
Oh, sorry.
You let me book the match here? Okay,
thought
says
they
old
were-
Mick screwed up my hot tag in my big moment.
I mean, guys, I wrestled in front of 200,000 people in North Korea. I've been in Japan 69 times. 69 times.
Okay, no, there's no subliminal information on that 69.
No, I'm just saying that.
All right, well,
JR,
yeah.
let's go get a crown. Let's go.
Well, we're almost done.
Actually, my biggest match, though, was against Shawn Michaels. That's okay.
We're going to get to that.
You know, my Shawn Michaels match when I retired, I got what he's making reference to. It was me, Dave Bautista, and Randy Orton, WrestleMania, the 20th anniversary, against him and The Rock. Are you kidding? We stole it. You shit me? Nobody can follow that shit. You think Goldberg did it? I mean, give me a break. Nobody can follow that match. You kidding me? The Rock was doing this shit. I was doing my shit. Mick was rolling on the thumbtacks. We stole it. Hell, I'm going to the bar, Jim. Let's go.
Well, that was interesting. How about you, Mick? Anything special you want on your wish list?
Yes.
So you're a Santa Claus loving, sleigh riding, elf kissing, mistletoe belt buckle wearing son of a gun.
But
go ahead, do what you want. Say what you want to say. I don't give a shit.
in that case,
I'd like to thank Grey Goose for sponsoring this portion of the broadcast.
But I go to Cena. I said, "You're the world champion. You got to buy drinks." You know. He said, "I don't drink." I said, "Good luck with that shit." or I want to wrestle Stone Cold. Stone Cold ain't gonna hurt his neck with me. I don't even fly him air.
I'm wrestling you tomorrow in a hotel room doing my podcast.
The podcast.
Must listen to your boy.
Her boy. And Stone Cold, 3 hours over here in my room. Good luck with that one. Woo! And Steve's bringing 3 cases of beer. What the hell?
I came looking for a couple of plugs for the show, but this is ridiculous.
No,
I think we're turning your podcast heel.
Hey, we're going to plug that baby all night long. Wait till I get to the bar tonight. I didn't start it yet. Hey, who can work for WCW and not drink? You give me a break. Good Lord. Oh, my God.
And Rick and I had not only a few matches, we had a classic.
We stole it, brother.
We stole it
twice.
times.
We stole it at SummerSlam for WWE, and we stole it for that company, whatever it's called, TNA. You kidding me? He lets me smack him. Undertaker, just relatively a few, you know. Hey, Bret Hart, do we have to do that? Sorry, Bret. Yeah, it's only 2 like that. In San Antonio one night, Bret Hart goes, "It's a dark match. Please don't chop me." I said, "Okay." Okay, hello.
All right. Okay, now.
Don't get me going. I'm a wealth of entertainment.
Daniel Bryan.
Is up, JR.
Save my ass. Soundbite. Who's your dream opponent at WrestleMania?
I honestly feel like I don't belong up here.
Hey, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. 41 years, you can only imagine. Hey, 41 years of wrestling Brody and Blackjack. You can imagine how I feel about you being up here. Good Lord. I'll move. Yeah, here's the greatest. Kurt Hennig goes, you got to hear the story. So, I got to tell this story. It's the greatest. So Kurt, no. I'll do Kurt. I'll move. I swear to God, I'll move. Hey, Charleston, West Virginia, all night. We get on the airplane, and I think the chick is hitting on me. She's hitting on him, right? Then she tells this joke, and they're out of food, so Jim and I drank Bloody Marys for an hour and a half back to Atlanta. His wife is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. But, I mean, she needs lens grafters, right? Let's go with it, right? Let's get that figured out. Ric Flair in my prime, or him, are you shitting me? I was wrecked. Good Lord.
Yeah,
I just saw her today. She's the greatest. At my age, I'm ready to go. but I have a cosmetic issue, right? And I look like shit, okay? So, the human jellyfish.
If this makes a television show, can you imagine what the internet and the dirt sheets are going to say about this shit?
Yeah. I love it. Good Lord.
Considered I've lost
Nobody get married out here, please. It's overrated. If you're even entertaining the thought of your partner you're with tonight and you're thinking about getting married, throw it out. It's overrated. And don't live with her longer than the statute of limitations, okay? You got to pay her anyway.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. After this train wreck is over and we are able to get the ambulances here for the bodies, the casualties, we're going to do one-on-one interviews. We are going to, God forbid, have more beverages and great food.
And yeah, as a result, it was Jim Ross who actually got punished for this. He would depart WWE a month later due to contract expiry, which he said was his own decision, but many people believe that it was because of this panel here and the fact that WWE thought he wasn't able to keep it under control. There was talk that he had appeared intoxicated to this event as well, but that was never substantiated, though he did make criticisms and remarks towards sponsors for WWE on this panel, and that obviously caused trouble. But yeah, if this is the reason that JR got fired, he definitely should not have got fired, because this was an awesome panel. Ric Flair really stole the show here. It was great. JR, even during the press conference panel, is even like, oh god, this is definitely going to lose my job. He even acknowledges it on the mic. But yeah, I disagree with him losing his job over this if that was the case. And yeah, those are just some wrestling interviews and live appearances that ended in total disaster with meltdowns and awkward moments. And yes, I'm fully aware that there is no way that these are the only ones I could think of. There are so many more, I'm fully aware. And if you want to suggest any, then leave them down below in the comments, and I'll come back and do another video talking about even more wrestler interviews that ended in total meltdowns, disasters, and pure awkwardness, and tension, and fights. Leave a like on this one if you did enjoy it, and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss that future sequel to this video. I'll see you all in the next one on the channel. Goodbye and keep on rolling.